if you haven't made this switch yet, you might already be behind. I can't tell you how important it is to start using these baits now. There's a point when maggots become irrelevant and we're almost there. Most anglers are 2 weeks behind in making this switch, and I'm going to tell you why. Oh yes, that was a mega bite. Look at that, that is phenomenal. We're going down a proper pellet approach today. Well, you join me at the mighty Weston Pools, and this is one of my favourite venues. It's a phenomenal venue full of fish, and we're getting to that time of the year now where we're out of winter, the temperatures are rising and the fish are coming to some feed, and when that happens the bait changes as well. And today we're going down a pellet approach. Soft pellets this time of year can be unbelievable. I mean, look at that fish, what a beauty. Catching loads of them here at Weston today on pellets. And we're going to go into loads of detail on why pellets are so good this time of year. We're going to go into the rigs, full detail on the rigs, how I go about setting my rigs up, why I've chosen to plumb there in my peg. Some people at this time of year are too slow to change over. They still stick to fishing winter tactics, and I almost feel like when the fish start to move about, them winter tactics just go straight out the window, and you've got to be quick on the change. Fishing's like that, change is so quick, and today we're going to show you how you fish pellets, because that is the main change at this time of year. Now, as you can see on my side tray, it's a full-on pellet approach today. It's fishery pellets here at Weston, and I've got some 3mm fishery pellets, and I've soaked them right through. I literally just put some in a tub, fill it flush with water, left it for 25, 30 minutes, and they ended up just like that, nice and soft, perfect. You could squeeze them together if you wanted to, just like that, and they break back up. I also got myself a bag of 4mm from the shop. I just feel like, especially with it being a deep venue, it's like 4 foot in the edges. Sometimes pellets can be brilliant, just pin them down on the bottom. Probably I'll try and not use pellets, hard pellets. I'd like to try and keep them on soft pellets, but if they're there on my side tray, just in case, I can make a change. And then I've got some of our 4mm Pro expanders for the hook. They're dead simple to prepare, our Pro expanders, Sonu Baits ones. You literally just fill it with water, chuck your expanders in. I did them at home last night, and then bring them to the bank and they're ready to go. I also have a little tub with no water in, and all I do is during my session scoop a few out and just chuck them into there. It sort of dries them out a little bit, but they're still soft and nicer on the hook then as well, so that's something else that I do. And then also as well, I've got a bit of ground bait on my side tray. I think it's important to have ground bait with you. You don't really want to feed it, but I've done it mainly for when I'm fishing in the edge. When we go into the edge, because it's closer to you, sometimes it might need to give them a bit of confidence to get them in your peg, and ground bait's the one to do that. All winter I've been using crushed expander, and now I've switched to match method mix. It's a bit more coarse, got some more particles in it. When you get them fish into your peg that are feeding, they can graze on all that bait that's in that ground bait. That is my go-to bait, that match method mix. So that's the bait selection. And we'll move over to the rigs while the rigs are here as well, and I'll run you quickly through the rigs because these are important as well. They're all scaled up now from winter tactics moving into that spring and summer tactics. So we'll start with my first rig. Now this rig is for in the edge. So here today, down the edge, I've got 48-inch in the edge, and the float that I've opted to choose for that is one of our slim carbons in a 0.4 of a gram. When you're fishing pellets, especially with this depth of water, I'll give you a little bit of advice here on float choice. So if I was fishing anything 3 foot or under, I'd opt to go for a 0.3 of a gram, something that takes like 6 number 9s, just because you're fishing in a little bit more shallower water. But anything from 3 foot up to 6 foot, I'd go down the route of a 0.4 of a gram or a 0.5 of a gram float, just a little bit more weight, and they're shotted with number 8s. When you're fishing with pellets, you're being more aggressive. with your shotting patterns, because you're setting little traps. It's a bit like method feeder fishing. You feed that bait, what you'll find is as soon as you feed your pellets, they're in your peg. So you want your bait straight in. It's not like you want to waft a light rig in like winter tactics. You want your bait right in where you're fishing in that area. If sometimes, a lot of the time actually when you're fishing pellets, if you fish a light rig and feed your bait and flick your rig in, by the time your bait's settled up and sort of trimmed up and got to the bottom, the fish are already there in your peg, and your chances are far looking them laying the rig over the fish's back and things like that. So make sure you step up them floats for the depths of water. That's just a little bit of good advice there, just to what sort of size of float to pick for the depths of water that you're fishing in. So like I say, it's 48 inch down this left-hand edge where we're going to fish here today, and I've gone for a 0.4 of a gram slim carbon. That's important as well. This is our Matrix Slim Carbon pole floats. I've stepped up now from your finesse carbon pole floats to these slim carbons. The difference is it's got a slightly thicker carbon stem, and also the tip as well is a 1.8mm hollow tip. I think that's really important as well, to have a thicker tip this time of year, a bit more bristle showing as well. You can read your bites better and stuff like that. The bites are more aggressive, so you step them floats up as well. And also these floats have got a different eye in them. They've got more of a power eye, so they're a lot more durable. They'll not snap and last you a lot longer for that full fishing session. Now, if you look, I've been a fan of all that 8 to 10's green slick all winter. It's out the kits, the red slick's out, 10 to 12's red slick, the ultimate summer elastic for me. I do use it in the winter sometimes when I'm fishing for some big carp, but for these type of venues where there's a mix of F1s and carp, the 10 to 12's red slick during the spring and summertime is unbelievable. Now, as you can see as well, I'm fishing our 2 metre kits today. I've just done this to lend itself to the venue. It's deep, it's a deep venue, so I've gone for our 2 metre kits just so I can fit them on the top kit just like that. Today it's hooked up. Normally if I went to a venue like Tunnel Barn Farm, which is a bit of a shallower venue, I'd be on our 1.7 metre short kits, but I've opted for a 2 metre long, our 2 metre longer kits today, with red slick. And I know here at Weston as well, there's some really big bonus double figure fish, so with that 2 metre kit, if you get one, there's a bit more elastic, you've got that chance of getting them in as well. Now we'll run you through the lines. I've gone for 018 soft steel. I've stepped that up now from your winter tactics again, 014 soft steel, 016 soft steel. I've gone to 018 soft steel, more durable. It's going to last you that full session. Then fish are pulling back on us now. I've got 2 number 8 back shots there. I have that on all my rigs. I think that's really good. You can fish a slightly longer line, keep your pole tip away, and then also with them number 8s, you can sort of, if you're fishing on a slope, pull your rig towards keep your rig on your marker towards the bank all the time. So we always add 2 number 8 back shots. We'll move down to the business end. Now I've just got this shotted, like I say, an aggressive shotting pattern of, this has got 7 number 9s in a bulk and then 1 number 9 dropper. And then I've got a 4-inch hook length there of all 14 soft steel I've got on today. I will change between my hook lengths, all 12 and all 14 this time of year, but I've gone for an all 14 soft steel hook length in 4-inch. That's so important to have a 4-inch hook length, because when you're fishing pellets, they come in, these fish, and they suck and they blow your pellet. So with having that slightly shorter hook length, the fish comes in, sucks your pellet in, and it picks up that first number 9, and you get your indication on your float straight away, just like that, and you're into that bite more quickly. If you had it further away, you wouldn't pick up your bite quick, and they probably blew that bait back out on you, and you'll miss your bite and things like that. So when I'm fishing with pellets, I fish a 4-inch hook length. Now my hook is a 16's X1 commercial carp hook. I've stepped this up now from our X2s for fishing all them winter tactics. You want something that's going to last you that full session. Them fish are pulling again now. Even the stockies in here today, they're pulling back and pulling loads of elastic out. So we want a hook that's going to last you that full session. So that's that rig. And then we'll move over to the other rig, which is for fishing across at 13 metres. They're the 2 lines that I've chose to fish today. On this rig, it is slightly deeper across over there. So what I've done is I've gone for, it's 54-inch, which is 4.5 foot. So it's an extra 6-inch deeper across over there. And I've gone for the same float, slim carbon, but in a 0.5 of a gram this time. Just takes a bit more shot. This one's shotted with 8 number 8s this time. Again, just because it's got a bit deeper. and we want to pin that bait and get it in position. I've had it quite a bit today when I've been feeding my bait. Your rig needs to be literally there, especially when you're feeding them 3 mils. They obviously sink a bit quicker than a 2 mil, so you want your rig in fishing straight away. You'll foul up fish with them lighter rigs, so that is so important. Again, 10 to 12's red slick in a 2 metre kit, 2 number 8 back shots, 018 soft steel mainline, a bulk and 1 dropper. So I've got a 4-inch up length on as well, again of all 14 soft steel. I'm proper stepped everything up here. There's no need to fish really light when them fish are feeding. Again, a 16s X1 commercial carp hook. Something I never mentioned on the last one when I was talking about the hook is it's important to have that 16s hook. You're fishing with a 4mm pellet. You can bury a hook inside the pellet so the fish can't see the hook, and then when you're lifting into them little bites, it cuts through the pellet and you have more chance of hooking that fish with that bigger hook when it's sucked it in. So that's so important, a 16s hook as well. When I'm fishing these pellets, I have 3 pots. I have a medium matrix pot with a sprinkle lid on, a medium matrix pot without the sprinkle lid on. Now the one with the sprinkle lid's for tapping some pellets in from a height, probably starting off your session, making a bit of noise, drawing them fish into your peg. But then if it gets to a point where you think to yourself, they're coming off the bottom on me, I'm missing a few bites, I'm foul looking a few fish, then I can take that pot off and switch between this one, the medium pot just without the sprinkle lid on, and this one, our small matrix pot without the lid on, and clump your bait in. So basically that means by filling your pot right up to the top, pushing it down with your thumb, shipping out, putting it on the water surface and releasing that bait as a clump in a funnel, just getting it more down on the bottom, trying to pin them fish in the bottom. But that's the bait and rigs. Let's move over to get some more fishing done. Before I go back across, because that's where we started the session, I'm going to go back across and keep fishing it out there. I'm just going to put a bit of bait in the edge just to start priming it up a little bit. That's so important with fishing. Them lines that you've chosen to fish for today, priming them up, because we could have a fantastic run across and it sort of start to fade on us at any point, and then you want somewhere else to drop. So if it does fade, I can drop in that edge that I'm just trickling a bit of bait in and building it up and getting them fish their confidence. So I'm going to do that first. Now what I've been doing, and this is how I like to start most of my sessions when I'm fishing soft pellets, is I'll put a 4mm expander on the hook. When you put your soft pellet on, sort of hook it through the barrel, the middle of the barrel, and roll it onto the hook. Literally just roll it round the shank of the hook, so the whole of the pellet is in the hook. So the whole of the hook is inside the pellet. That's important, as you can see. And then this is how I like to start my sessions when I'm fishing pellets. I've got a medium matrix pot on with a sprinkle lid. I always like to start on the sprinkle lid because you're making that noise, sprinkling some pellets in from a height, trying to draw a few fish into your peg because there's not much bait on the bottom there at the minute. So I've probably filled that up with, not all the way up, I've probably put 20 3mm pellets in the pot there. And what I like to do is, before I go out, give your pot a little dunk on the water surface, just holds them pellets in your pot a little bit better. And then just take your time shipping out. You don't want your bait coming out your pot all over the place because you'll just spread your fish everywhere. Just join my pole back together. Then I can start shipping across. It's about 13 metres across. I've got the flat butt dolly butt in. I like this flat butt dolly butt when I'm fishing long out my peg. It's just comfy on the elbow. Get right on my marker. Now this time, instead of when we clump the pellets in the edge, I've got my pot up from a height, about 2 foot from the water surface, turn my pot over and sprinkle them micros in. Just making that noise, probably 23 mils gone in there. Then I've got my rig right in, fishing straight away, lowered straight in. That's why we fish them positive rigs. You want it right down and fishing. I can imagine, oh, there we go. Instantly, now guide the fish out your peg. Less disturbance in your peg. I'm guiding everything to my left. And as you can see, this is only a stocky, this, but they don't half fight. This is why we have to step all that gear up. And that red slick's streaming everywhere. But it is soft enough, the red slick, to handle them stockies. Actually might be a bigger fish, this. Felt like a stocky at first, but now he's fighting a little bit. Just take your time. He is foul hooked. I think it's in the tail. And when it's like this, you want to get your net nice and low in the water and go underneath the fish, just like that. Big old F1. Unfortunately, he was foul hooked, but we still got him in. Put him in the net. Now here at Weston Pools and a lot of fisheries that you go to nowadays, you have to transfer the fish from your landing net head to your keep net. You can't drop any fish in your net, especially here at Weston Pools. I'm all for fish care, so that's a real good thing. I've got my rollers here today, which I think is really important. I've got one roller set up behind me quite high because there's not much banking behind me. So I've set one roller up quite high, so then my pole's always facing down to the water level and I can ship out with ease when I'm fishing the long pole. I think that's really important. You don't want them pellets spilling out your pot everywhere. So that's how I set my rollers up when I'm fishing like that with a bank, when I can't get two rollers behind me properly. I have got two rollers set up, but I've got another roller set up for fishing down the edge. And I get right back on your marker again. What I like to do is get that rig into position, sort of right into position on your marker, turn your pot over and sprinkle them pellets in. From a height, make some noise. Now, obviously I've got them other pots. I'll keep doing this till I feel like maybe I need to change to a different pot, clumping some bait in, trying to pin them more down on the bottom. Because I foul up one then, so maybe that's the case. I have to change the pot and clump some bait in, but we've only just started. Let's try and work it out as we go. You can't judge it off your first fish. I'm getting loads of indications there now. Just wait for that proper bite. You'll get a proper dink when you're fishing pellets. Now, it's getting to that time of year now, like I said, when we was going through the rigs and the bait, where they've gone off maggots. They've been fed maggots all winter time. So it's like they're sick of them. And also as well, like I said, when I was doing the bait and the rigs, oh, missed a bite then. When I was doing the bait and the rigs, it's like method feeder fishing when you're fishing pellets. You're setting little traps. So when you can imagine, when them fish are coming in feeding, it's a great way to fishing little traps. When you're fishing with maggots, don't get me wrong, you'll still get the odd bite on maggots, but it's nowhere near as effective of doing this time of year. Because the fish are coming to some feed, you're setting them little traps and you're just catching them. These commercials that we go to, there's loads of fish in them, there's fish everywhere. So you don't need to feed loads and loads of bait. There we go, straight away, a little dink on the float. Take your time. Look at that slick elastic, the red slick, it's beautiful elastic this. And you can see the waking up now, fighting so much harder than the winter time. And this is only a stocking he's fighting. Look at that for a fish. This venue is unbelievable. It's absolutely solid. And it's not just solid, it's a beautiful looking venue as well. What a place this is. I'm glad we've come back down here today. Look at him, hooked perfectly in the top lip. Lovely little F1, what a fish. He's about £1.25, so they're good weight builders as well at the same time. But you can see how tuned in they are on them pellets. Missed another bite then. I definitely feel like it's time now to take that sprinkle lid off. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back and start clumping a bit of bait in. I feel like, because I've fed numerous of times now with that sprinkle lid, I've got them there in the peg, they're there now. We need to get that clumping pot on and start clumping my bait in, get it pinned on the bottom. But before I go back in again, it's time again now to put a few more micros on that edge line, just keep it primed up. Let me just split my pole down so I can put some bait in the edge. Right, so I'm going to go back on that long line, but I'm going to take that sprinkle lid off. Not take the sprinkle lid off, take the medium pot off with a sprinkle lid and put on our small matrix. Just open, and I'm going to clump a small pot of micros in. I think that's going to be better now because the fish are there. I feel like the fish are there. I think we need to pin them on the bottom a bit more. just keep thinking outside the box. Them that work hard get the rewards. I think I've said that quite a few times. Just trying to think of how to work out how them fish want to be caught in your peg and what's going on under the water. Try and get an understanding. So I filled that pot up and clumped them micros down. There's a lot of fish there now. I think because I've been feeding regular, sprinkling a bit of bait in, with it being 4.5 foot nearly, I think because there's so many there now, they're starting to come up and down in the layers on me. Just come off the bottom. Now, get on your marker, lower your pot to the surface, count to 5, and all them micros come out your pot. Then lift your rig over your marker and lower it down. And we're fishing. Let's see if this makes a difference. Get a sign then straight away. There we go. That is unbelievable. And by just making that small change, you start hooking them again, cleanly in the mouth. Earlier in the video, we talked about a competition. It's now time to tell you about that competition. So, we're going to give away some elastics suited for spring and summer fishing. All you have to do is comment in the comment section below what ground bait I was talking about during this video today. What we'll do is, we'll look at all the comments in the comment section and we'll do a live draw over on the club community page. Now, if you've not heard about the club community page, it's over on Facebook. All you have to do is go on Facebook, go in the search bar, type in the Matrix Club community page, join the page, and hopefully you'll see your name as a lucky winner for this competition. So, it's been phenomenal here at Weston Pools today, fishing pellets. We had a fantastic day fishing across most of the day. As you've seen during the video, we started off sprinkling a little bit of bait in, drawing some fish into the peg, and we was catching really well. And then it sort of went a bit funny on me. There was too many fish coming to the peg, so we switched to that, clumping some bait in, and that's been phenomenal for most of the day. But the light levels are dropping now. It's getting to that point where I feel like surely there's got to be some fish in the edge. We had been priming it as well, so I'm hoping that we can go down there and nick a few fish in the edge as well. It's shorter, closer to myself, more efficient. So let's have a go. I'm not going to do anything different. 4mm expander on the hook again. That's been the best bait by a mile. Did mention about them 4mm hard pellets. Don't feel like I've needed them today. I've sort of worked out how to keep them on the bottom with me feeding, with my pot, so I've not really needed them 4mm hard pellets. 4mm expander's been brilliant on the hook, and then the best by a mile has been a small matrix pot, loading it right up to the top and thumbing it down and just clumping a small matrix pot in. And that's what I'm going to do in the edge. Now, get right on your marker. It's so important to get on your marker that you've picked on the far bank. Lower your pot to the water. Count to 5. Let them pellets release out your pot, and then lift your rig into position, and you're fishing. That trap's set. Now it's all about being patient and wait for that positive bite. I had a little sign then, missed a bite then, lower that rig back in. There's some fish there now, which is a really good sign. The same was happening across. There was signs and indications as well across. Rig's back in position on the marker. Just wait for that positive bite again. Try not to strike into any line bites or false indications. You don't want to foul hook any fish because it'll just disturb them on the bottom. Missed another bite then. I've got a bit of rubbish on my rig there. I'm going to take that off. It's come off now. Check the expander. I'm going to put a fresh expander on. Feel like that's been torn through a little bit. Pick a fresh expander out the tub. Through the barrel, roll it on, hide that hook inside your pellet. And I'm gonna load my pot up again as well, because I want to reset my trap. Again, on my marker, lower my pot to the water, sneak that bait in, just count to 5, let everything release out. Water gets in the pot from the top through the holes and pushes the pellets out for us. Get right on your marker and lower that rigging. And then be patient. The trap's set with fishing. An indication again then. There we go. And we're in. Phenomenal. What a venue. And I just feel like the fish are here now in this edge, because we've built it up, primed the peg and got them here. It's another little stocky. Beautiful fish though. What a fish. What a venue. It's just absolutely solid. Another lovely F1. Show you him. Look at him. Another beauty. What a fish. Slip him in the net. And hopefully I can go in and catch you another one. There we go. That was a proper bite. And we're in again. What a day. I think we'll end the video on this, because we've just had a phenomenal day's fishing, to be honest with you. And it's a lovely demonstration of how to fish pellets this time of year, spring leading into the summer, and how deadly they can be as well. Another lovely fish. The Weston Pools beauty. What a venue. Phenomenal. Just enjoyed it so much today. But I hope you've enjoyed that video. An in-depth look at how to fish pellets this time of year in the spring, and also about making that change as quick as you can, being on it. Don't get stuck in your ways, being set in winter tactics. Get on that change, because that weather's picking up and them fish are definitely on the feed.